Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Dwarf Fortress in the land of Amuggoden. Alright, so in the meantime, my dwarves have dug out a bit of this area. Fortunately, right now, I don't think they're digging. It seems that they've decided to, oh no, they're back to digging, okay. They took a little bit of a break, went had a few beers and took a nap, but they're back to digging. I've also designated a few more areas to dig. Just see, I made two channels here. What we'll be using these channels for is to get across the canyon here, which we will get across underground. So I don't have to build any bridges up top here and leave myself exposed to invasions. I think I will use this channel here as a way to get towards this waterfall. I've been trying to think of what to do exactly with this waterfall. I don't know if any of you have any suggestions, let me know and I'll try to implement them. I'm trying to devise a way to maybe make some cool trap or anti-invasion system out of it. That might be interesting. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is dig over across to the waterfall here, go down a couple levels, and I'm going to put in a few grates directly underneath it. And hopefully my dwarves can pull that off without getting themselves killed. And if they can, those grates should be able to catch any fish that fall down the waterfall. So we won't actually have to fish for them. My dwarves can just walk over and pick them up right off the grates, ready to be prepared for eating. As you can see, because we've gone into the caverns here, there's some growth on these sand tiles underground, and there's some floor fungus growing here. And that's really nice because the floor fungus will be able to provide food for our animals later. Alright, the dwarves are almost done digging here, so I'll begin to place some beds and make some bedrooms for them. So you press B for build and B again for bed. And we'll place one bed in every room. How many? Okay, I have a few beds left. We only need 7 at this point since we haven't got our first wave of migrants yet. Okay, and the dwarves will run in and put the beds down for us. Okay, so a nice feature in this game is that once you make a bedroom by selecting the bed with Q and pressing R, place it down, you can assign the bed to a particular dwarf, which you can pick from this list, or you can just leave it free. And I prefer to leave it free because what will happen is the next dwarf who actually wants to sleep will go in and claim that bedroom for themselves, and it really cuts down on a lot of micromanagement, because when you get up to a large castle, or a large fortress I should say, with a huge amount of dwarves, you don't exactly want to have to go in and assign every single dwarf to every bed individually. It gets quite tedious. Okay, so on the top here, this area that I've designated for mining that's not connected to anything yet, this will be our a dining room and meeting hall, as I believe I've said before. And I think you might notice that I've removed this area in the center here. And I did that because I want to leave it undesignated for a moment, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass a waterfall, like an artificial waterfall, down through the center of this chamber here. And what that will do is that will create mist, which should supposedly make our dwarves really happy, give them nice spots. So hopefully I can pull that off without killing any dwarves, but I think it will turn out all right. Okay, now we have enough beds for all of our dwarves, and I will go and allow my miners to mine the rest of this area here. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm going to go up here and open up this area here that I've designated. And what I've done is I've designated these large areas here to mine, and I'm going to make these pastures for animals that require pasture land to live. So I'm probably place my alpacas down here, and then up here in this area, I think I'll place any animals the migrants bring with them. I'll probably just slaughter, because migrants tend to bring a lot of like large livestock animals, like yaks and cows and camels and things like that. They require excessive pasture land. And this won't be enough pasture land for them, but it'll probably be enough pasture land for them to grow to maturity to the point where I can slaughter them. So let's designate these for mining, and my dwarves should make really quick work of this, since dwarves mine extremely fast through soil tiles. And these tiles are clay, which is a type of soil in this game. All right, so while we're doing that, I'll designate this area down here for a temporary meeting area to get my dwarves and all my animals off the surface and keep them safe. So you press I and you can make a zone. Why is this? Okay, I can't start the designation on a tile that has stone, I believe. So I'll have to do it like that. It's just strange. I thought I could. Maybe my keyboard's just acting up a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I'm using this wireless keyboard here, and occasionally it kind of just shits out on me. Yep. Okay, there we go. And we'll make this a meeting area, and our dwarves should go down there when they have nothing else to do, because we don't have any other meeting areas. Let's see how mining's going. Yeah, they're making pretty good progress. While we're doing that, I think I'll switch over to Dwarf Therapist, and no, not Dwarf Therapist. I can do this just through regular menu. So I'm gonna go and make a broker. What the broker does is it allows your dwarves to trade with merchant caravans when they come in, and if your broker has an appraiser skill, like this dwarf here, Sodel Zonkenkrost does, you'll also be able to see the value of items, which is extremely useful, especially when you're appraising. So he'll be our broker. And we don't have any dwarves with relevant skills for a manager. I think I kind of messed that up a bit. But that's okay. The dwarf will come around soon enough with good manager skills. And at this point, we don't really need a manager. Yeah, and we can make a dwarf our militia commander too. Let's find a dwarf that has the axe skills and make him our militia commander for the moment. We won't be doing any fighting yet, but we might as well do this to save some time. Oh, one note, when using Dwarf Therapist, apparently it's a good idea to pause the game because you may get crashes if you don't. Okay, so let's find the dwarf for military skills. Oh, that's the dwarf I named after myself. Wow, my memory is really horrible today. Okay. I actually played another game in between this one, between posting these videos, just a game by myself, so I'm starting to forget a little things about the state of this world here. Okay, so we will go and we will make Lunois our militia commander. And this will actually not really have much of an effect yet because we're not going to create the fighting squad quite yet. Okay, as you can see, our miners came up here to take a drink. That's why we're standing on those barrels. I think it'd be a good idea to move all this stuff inside. So what we'll do is we'll tell them to make some stockpiles inside, just temporary stockpiles to store everything from our wagon. Yeah, so just in the hallway here. You know, it's not pretty putting these stockpiles down in this area, but it will work. Okay, and so we'll go and modify it by pressing Q and make it a stockpile for just about everything. So we'll enable food, except for seeds, because we're currently storing seeds by our farms. And we'll also make it for ammo, coins, bars and blocks, not gems, because all the gems are already underground, because that's where we're mining them, so we don't need to move off surface. Finished goods, leather, cloth, wood, we already have a stockpile on the surface. That should be good for the moment. Weapons, traps, armor. Okay, and our dwarves should get to work, at least any idle dwarves we have, moving everything off the surface down here. And once that's done, we will remove this caravan. Alright, so let's see which of our dwarves are idle now, not doing anything. So we press U. Okay, so our stoneworker doesn't have a task, so let's get him busy building some walls and make a little keep in this area here. So you press B for build, and to build a wall is a special kind of building. It's called a construction. Constructions are buildings that kind of function like things you'd make out of natural stone on world tiles. So like you could dig a wall artificially out of stone, or you can make a wall through construction method. You can dig, or I should say you can carve stairwells out of natural stone. You can build stairwells using the construction menu, like in free space. So go build, you press Shift C for construction, and W for wall, and just surround this area here. Actually, I'm not going to build it here because I think this is where I want the entrance to our fortress to be. So let's first just designate along the bottom here. Okay, and scroll down. We don't want to make this out of logs because wood is fairly valuable. We have a lot of chalk, so let's make it out of chalk. Alright, unfortunately we can't build a wall on this wagon, so we're going to have to wait till the wagon's removed before we can build a wall in that area, but that shouldn't really take too long. Okay, chalk. Alright, and the dwarves will go, or our mason dwarf will go, and start placing down these walls here. You know what, I think I am going to build a bridge across here. It will just be nice to have, and it will allow me to, you know, make a designated path for invaders to come attack us from. Yeah, that'll be a good idea. I think I might remove a bunch of the ramps all along here, so invaders can't climb up this hill and get to us. And we'll literally be like on this big like peak of a hill, and surrounded by this canyon and this, you know, pretty far drop. Oh, there's actually some pretty flat land down here, but I hadn't really noticed before. I don't think it'll be proved too useful for us, though we could build a channel down here into it and wall it off and make it as a good area for, what do I mean to say, for like a tree farm. see how our miners are doing. Okay, we have a lot of idle dwarves, so our miners are finished here. So now we'll go on to the next priority and get them to open up our dining hall here, and this area here, which will actually be baths for the dwarves as the water source. So they don't really need such an excessively large area for that purpose, but I think it will look nice, and it'll give a nice symmetry to the level. Not that I'm a huge stickler for it like some people, but I think it will look nice. So we'll redesignate this area here for that purpose. I have some columns placed here. Okay, as you can see, it was partially dug through, and that's because I forgot to remove the mining designation for this pathway, so my dwarves started digging here before I wanted it. So I quickly just came in and stopped them. Okay. And I want the columns there and there, and like that. Okay. And that should be correct. And so we'll get back to digging. Do we have any more beds to place? Oh, we do. We just have this one. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go back and see who's still idle. Oh, the militia commander. That's cool. Let's go to the surface here. The dwarves should be finished mostly moving things here, so we will get them to remove the wagon. Once my carpenter's done with that, I'll get him to make, let's see, what should we make here? Let's make some beds. Beds can only be produced out of wood. Dwarves do not like sleeping on stone, apparently, so that's what we will make them out of. Let's finish off this area. Okay. Chalk and chalk. Okay. Oh, what are these critters here? Crow woman. Okay. Hopefully they're not aggressive. Yeah, they seem like they're just passing us by. If we had any hunters, they'd probably make for some good hunting, but I feel like they're not going to be an issue. You can check what animals are on the screen by pressing U. I think I went over this before. And then going over to others, and I'll show what's here. So those otter women are still around. Otter men, otter women, and a lot of crow people too. Giant hedgehog. That's kind of cool, I guess. Okay, what is this here? Oh, the beer barrels. Okay. Why aren't they bringing it down to the stockpile? Food, yeah, drinks supposed to be brought here. That's really bizarre, actually. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's not a big deal. Let's see how the mining's going. Okay, they're making progress on this area. Did get this new bed, so we'll make a bedroom. Okay, and while I'm mining this, I'll go designate some more areas to mine, so somewhere to produce food and booze for our dwarves. Because dwarves really like booze. Okay, something we're going to have to keep in mind is that we've got to leave some area open above this place to make a waterfall. So usually I'd place the kitchen probably above the eating area, but I might have to do it a little differently because I need that space free. So maybe I'll just temporarily, so I know what area I'll need for exactly, designate a channel. Okay. So the best place to make that channel for water flow, I guess, will be the level directly above here. Because there's no water on this level. This is actually the level above the water. And this is the level of the water here. If we go down, how do I want this to fall down? The water will really only fall down one straight channel, so this might be a little longer than I need, so maybe I'll make a 3x3 way for water to fall. 2, 3. And we will just break into the wall here and connect that in a bit. Okay, so now I know which way the water is going. I can make some more space here. Designate some areas for these farms. And I'm actually going to, I'm sorry, not for farms, for the kitchen. I'll pause the video for a second while I go ahead and do this, because it can get kind of slow and tedious. Alright, I'm back, and as you can see, I've dug out an area here. Well, not dug out yet, just designated for digging, for the kitchens for the dwarves. And the way I'll set this up is that in the back here, I'll put the kitchen in the still, as that will be directly above this back area here behind the dining room, where the dwarves will have food storage. So once food's prepared, it will be a very short distance to take it to the food storage area. Oh, there's a red C here. That usually means there's some combat log. Okay. A giant hedgehog is fighting. Giant sponge is fighting. Oh, huh. I think what's happening is animals are falling off the waterfall to their death. Oh well, that's their problem. Alright, so there's some plants growing here, so let's make a pasture zone. So to get our animals off the surface. We'll just remove it in these corners here. The animals don't hang out there. Okay, and then we'll designate as N for pasture. Then, oh, I have to, okay. And big N, we'll go down and place our alpacas in this one. Let's place the alpacas and the turkey hens and gobblers there. Turkeys don't need pasture land. They don't need to eat. There are many animals like this, mostly the birds, and like dogs, cats, and cheetahs. These animals currently do not require any food at all, but your livestock will. Okay, so we'll make this one as an area for the yak cow and the camel. And our dwarves should go and bring them all down here. See, they already brought the one turkey down there, and bringing the alpacas down. Alright, and these turkeys we will use to produce eggs, and more turkeys. And turkeys are great, because unlike most other birds, they actually give you leather when you kill them, and they multiply extremely quickly. So a really good way to get leather industry up. So let's designate some areas for the turkeys to stay in. And we'll keep this symmetrical, or should we? What to do? Maybe I'll put the turkey pens. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna worry about the symmetry, just for a bunch of stupid turkeys. Wow, I really got to get a better keyboard for this. turkey. Yeah, I'm not really entirely... Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll make it semi-symmetrical. But I want 2 turkey pens, so I will divide it in half right down the middle, like so. The reason I want 2 separate pens for the turkeys is because I want one area for breeding turkeys and one area for egg laying. I think that's right. Yeah, that's correct. And the reason why you need 2 separate areas is because the way you get eggs to hatch into birds is by keeping dwarves away from the eggs. Because as soon as an egg is laid, a dwarf will run up and take it and bring it to a food stockpile or possibly eat it. So you need to put doors that the dwarves can't walk through and that animals can also not walk through in the area. And then the dwarves will not gather the eggs and they'll hatch into turkeys. Actually, I'm going to move these doorways so they're directly across from the alpaca ones. And that would be something like that, and like that, and then move that, and move that. All right, and we're back in action here. Let's see what's going on the surface. Okay. Oh, this job was suspended. We'll just reactivate it. There was likely an animal possibly standing in the place where that wall was supposed to be built, or maybe the stone that the dwarf needed to build wasn't accessible. So I just remarked it as accessible. I mean, sorry. I unsuspended the construction, I should say. Okay. And let's make a pile for refuse. As you can see, there are these, like, bones, or what are these? 2-legged rhino lizard remains. So that's a pest. So we'll go over to this area here. Yeah, so that message that just came along the bottom said, Stoneworker cancels construct building creature occupying site. And where was that? Here again. I swear there isn't a creature there. Maybe it was that cat just stepped down there for a second. Okay, let's make the refuse pile before I forget. Right. Okay, I need to remove this pile. You need to pick what the pile is before you make it, or you can go back in and edit it. But it'll just be quicker to do this way. Okay, so refuse pile. There we go.
No, I can't do it.
And dwarves will carry the corpses over here. However, they won't touch the ones on the surface at the moment because they're not ordered to. So to get them to move junk that's on the surface, you need to press O for set orders, go over to R for refuse, and press O again to get them to gather refuse from outside. And then they'll start moving the corpses from outside to the pile. Keeps on saying I've struck white chalcedony, which is probably a gem. Don't have a lot of use for gems yet. So yeah. So the dwarves are dropping all these plants here that we've farmed into this pile, and they're not in barrels, which is bad because they can actually rot. So what we need to do is we need to go to a carpenter and tell him to make some barrels. And I think it's V for barrel? Yeah. Let's make a whole bunch of barrels. Later on, we'll actually stop producing barrels and we won't need to make them because we can replace them by pots that we can make out of stone. But Need our mason to make those, or craft dwarf. Yeah, it's not the mason. It's dwarf with stone crafting skill, or you can make them out of glass or clay. Wow, we keep on suspending this construction. I swear there's no animal there. Oh, this is really stupid. The dwarf is standing on the square, and it's suspending the construction because someone's standing on the square. I've never had that happen before. I'm not sure how to deal with the situation. Maybe if I remove the building. And then I tell him to build it again. Okay, let's see how that works. Yeah, yeah. Okay, excellent. And now we will build a bridge in front of that doorway there, so we can lock our dwarves in. We'll make a drawbridge there. We won't be putting down a moat quite here, just because it's just way too close to the tower. I prefer to keep the moats a little farther out if we're going to make one. Though I don't think we will need to, because we have this gigantic canyon around us, which is like a super moat already. Okay, so you build a bridge, you press G for bridge. I guess the G is for good in the bridge. And to get a drawbridge, you have to pick the direction that raises. Because just making a regular bridge like this will just make a retracting bridge, which is really just a bridge that disappears when you tell it to retract. So we press D to make it raise this way, and expand it a few squares. And that should be fine. And this way, when it raises, the space in between the walls here will get filled up with the bridge, and it will block any entrance to our little hut here. I guess our keep. So place it and make it out of chalk too. This will be our chalk building. Okay. And what we don't have on our keep is currently a roof. So let's put some stairs up and put a roof there. So press B. Stairs that you want to build an empty space or construction, so Shift C, and then upstairs. And we'll build a 3x3 row here at the back. Out of chalk as well, because we have tons of chalk. Okay, dwarves are getting closer to completing carving this area out. Oh, okay. So I put a staircase here that will be dropping the water down, and I also mined all the way straight, or I guess they haven't mined it all, but doesn't it all the way straight down into this area here, and that water will drain into this pool here. Okay, so let's go up. And we will make designate this as an up-down stairwell. No, just a down stairwell because we don't need it to go up. Oh, do we even need that stairwell? I guess I can just have them channel that area out. But we'll put the stairwell there for a moment so they can walk by here easily, and then we can just remove it later. And it will, make it a little quicker for him to run up and down between mining jobs. Yeah, this guy is going to continue this passage down. No, I thought he entered that area. Oh well. Okay, let's build a temporary mason's workshop. So E for build, W for workshops, and M for mason. And use this to make tables that we'll put in our dining room so our dwarves have something to eat off of. Struck Mika. What's Mika? I've never even heard of Mika before. Okay. Oh, it's just some random nondescript stone. what I'd really like to strike is some ore, because we've gone down quite a few levels here. These caverns, and there's absolutely no ore in sight to make decent weaponry out of. Yeah, so I think I might actually, yeah, because we don't have prospects for making our own decent weaponry right now. I'm gonna make a workshop. What kind of workshop? A crafts works, and so we can produce some crafts to trade once the caravans get here. So it's R for craft workshop, and we'll put it down here in our temporary meeting area too. So for trading with the caravans, we will need a trade depot. Yeah, I think I'll have this level here as a storage area for trade goods and a place for the caravans to come and unload. So let's make the caravan area up in here. I think it requires a 5 by 5 square. Let's just double check. So build and shift C? No, it's not shift C. It's shift D for trade depot. Yeah, it's 5 by 5. So that area will be good for the trade depot. A nice big, you know what, I'm going to place it farther down here. I think what I'm going to do is make the passage across here and then make an above ground entrance area for the caravans here so they can get in nice and quick. Yeah, so we will make the trade depot a little closer then to this area so the caravans can move a little faster. Don't have to walk so far. We'll be good to them. And then this area here we'll make as storage for trade goods. Okay. So there's really a lot of mining our dwarves have to do here at the moment. Let's see what's going on, how we're progressing. For some reason I feel like I'm missing something. It's not a good sign. But I think it'll be okay. See how we are for food. All right, we're still pretty good for food. We should last till our dwarves have this area dug out. So okay, our mason's workshop is done. So make some tables. So A to add task, and T for tables. So we'll make 5 tables now and 5 chairs or thrones, which are just what stone chairs are called. And then in this area, we will make, in the craft store workshop, rock crafts. So just A to pick something to make, and then rock and rock crafts, and we'll put that on repeat just so they make as many rock crafts as they can. Let's check who's idle at the moment. Okay, our militia commander, like usual, all that he really does is just gather plants and fight, and our woodworker has no work. So let's go to the surface and get a carpenter to start making some stuff. A useful item are bins, which is N in the build menu, and bins are used to store certain items. For instance, armor and weapons, I believe, are stored in bins, and also trade goods and all other kinds of finished goods. So they're fairly useful to have, and you can fit a lot more into a storage area or stockpile once you have bins. Okay, the stairs up here are finished. So to actually build stuff on this level, we need to also make stairs down. So go to build menu, C, and then downstairs. And you can only place it downstairs above tiles that have upstairs below them, which kind of makes sense. So we'll place them here and also make them out of chalk. Okay, and I've decided what we'll do on this upper level here is we'll place barracks for archers. Trying to think of something to do down in this big flat area. Might make a cool combat zone if I could route the enemies down into here. I'm not sure. Though I think a cooler combat zone would be over the edge of this canyon here. Make some interesting traps. Fortunately, dropping enemies off the canyon might not be the best idea. It would be a great way to kill them for sure, but it'd be really hard to get their loot in all that water. Unless I put grates down all through under there. But they might survive and fall onto the grates. So. I'll have to think about that one. Da-da-da-da. Well, let's make the militia commander gather some plants. He has nothing else to do at the moment. I could make him go slaughter some animals if there's anything we can actually catch. Is this giant hedgehog? Where is it? Oh. Wow, is that thing still alive? It's been drowning in that water for a long time. Let's see what it says about it. Giant sponge, giant hedgehog. Maybe they can't drown. That's really bizarre. I was pretty sure that thing would die. Okay, let's check out if we have any tables. So by trying to place them, so great, yeah, we can place some tables here. Make our grand dining room here. Excellent. Okay, no more tables. Place the chairs beside the tables. Chairs aren't all finished because we only have 4. No, we only have 3 to place. That's okay. You don't actually need the chairs for a dining table. The only thing that's dining room. The only thing that's absolutely necessary are the tables. It's a bit odd. If you look at the corner here, you can see if there's sand over there. I'm not sure why. That actually makes me kind of nervous. Might just be a patch of sand, but I remember there should be an aquifer here. And if there is, it'll probably be down in this area because the biomes are changing here. That's why it's all stone up around here and then sand down here. It's actually kind of cool to note that those biomes are changing. Oh. Well, I'll continue what I was saying about the biomes. Because the biomes are changing, it increases the chance that there might be some metal down here in this area, but we haven't really mined to, at least a little deeper down. But in the meantime, we got some migrants. Let's see how many we got here. 1, 2, 3. Wow, just 3 migrants and a child. That's not quite a bit. But we'll go into Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Therapist, and check out who these migrants are. So if you press Read Dwarves and sort by migration wave, it will show you the new migrants in the bottom. And we have a fishing dwarf, which is nice because that will provide us with some food pretty quickly. But besides that, nothing too interesting. Like, I don't have that many great skills at all. The strand extraction is used for, I think, processing adamantium metal later on. And I don't usually actually play to the point where I get that far. But yeah, so that's not going to be useful at the moment because that'll be way later in the game. There's someone who actually has devoted plant gathering skills, which is kind of nice. Let's check them out. Maybe there's some military. Okay, so it wasn't so bad after all. We have one dwarf who has Mark's dwarf skill, which will be really nice because we'll have at least one archer to start off with. That's cool. So Zolban will be our first archer, and he actually seems okay. I think he's a competent Mercs dwarf, so that's 3 levels in it, which will be nice. But at the moment here, we'll we'll just let these guys be just haulers, and we won't designate anything for them. Alright, and this video has gone on for quite a bit now, so I think I will pause it and, the dwarves finish digging out these rooms, and then when I come back during the next video, we'll start placing down items and make our kitchens and the bath area once it's dug out with water sources and the waterfall and all of that cool stuff. So, see you next time.